With historic snowfall. Today we saw some melting away, but as the temperatures fall overnight, our attention now turns to potential dangers on the roads.
Ice will rain on roads as temperatures go sub-freezing for much of the night and morning, but relief is on the way.
Our winter weather continues to ground flights in and out of the area. The latest on when flights might be once again taking to the skies. This is WWL Louisiana News at 10.
One day after snow fell across the area, and we're dealing with another night of freezing temperatures, which means roads are likely icing over right now. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for watching. I'm Katie Moore.
And I'm Charisse Gibson. Now, for the past 2 days, we've had WWL Louisiana crews all around Southeast Louisiana, just making sure you have the most up-to-date information.
From the metro area to the river parishes and all the way down the bayou, we'll check in with each of them in a moment for the very latest.
But first, there are a few boil water orders in effect. Most recently, parts of New Orleans, East Venetian Isle, and St. Bernard Parish, while many areas are being asked to conserve water. You can see a complete list on our website.
And right now, we want to check on what we can expect overnight. How low are those temps going to go? Chief Meteorologist Chris Franklin standing by with the answer. Chris?
And they may continue to drop, but we are already in the low 20s at 10 o'clock at night. Expectations that we could see some more teens on the North Shore, already 19 degrees in Houma and getting close at a number of other locations. Seems like our temperatures kind of outperforming the models as they have been getting colder and colder faster. So we are now well sub-freezing. We're now well into that hard freeze range. So for folks that are headed off to bed, this is when you would want to kind of trickle that thin stream of water. Now looking live out toward downtown, they're hard to see, but a little bit of high, thin clouds. I don't really think those are going to do too much for our temperatures, as these high, thin cirrus clouds don't act as the blanket that you see when you have those cumulus clouds move in during the night. That would normally trap what little heat that we saw build up during the day today at the surface. Normally with clear skies, though, that allows for optimal, what we call radiational cooling, and temperatures would continue to fall. So it is definitely possible we will see more teens as we get the day started tomorrow, and low 20s. So not a great deal colder in the metro area, but we'll probably hold those lower 20s throughout the night tonight. Really doesn't matter if our temperatures drop a great deal more. We're already in the hard freeze range on both sides of the lake. So sub 20 temperatures likely again, North Shore and areas west, even down in the bayou parishes. As I mentioned, Houma is at 19 degrees right now. We will have another hard freeze on the North Shore and areas west tomorrow morning, but notice we will be free of that South Shore and in the metro area. So we'll talk more about our temperatures and a warming trend on the way in a few minutes.
All right, Chris, thank you. City contractors spent the day working to clear tons of snow and ice that fell during yesterday's winter weather.
A short time ago, we learned that the RTA will begin phasing service back on Sunday, and trash pickup will resume on Friday, but it will take time and effort to get the job done.
Yeah, Paul Murphy reports they are making some progress.
North Rampart Street in the French Quarter is one of those major thoroughfares that the snowplows focused on throughout the day. You can see much of the snow and ice have been cleared from the roadway, but the snow that melted during today's sunshine is now turning to ice in some spots. This evening, we saw some cars spinning out, and it just isn't safe to be on the roads. Earlier today, Hard Rock construction crews worked to remove snow from Canal Street and parts of the downtown development district. Ivy Waste, the city's largest trash hauler, deployed a fleet of tractors and trucks to clear the French Quarter, beginning with the perimeter streets, then moving to interior roadways. New Orleans Homeland Security Director Cullen Arnold said he expects significant improvement on city streets by tomorrow evening.
We're going to continue just fighting this as much as we can as the weather improves, as far as temperature, and the temperatures raise, and Mother Nature starts doing this work for us.
I have a 4x4 pickup truck, and I was sliding around and I saw some cars driving pretty fast down Decatur. I would advise everyone, please drive slow, stay off the street, let us clean it first, and then you can come out.
To be safe, you should wait at least another day before getting out on the roads. In the French Quarter, Paul Murphy, WWL Louisiana.
All right, and right now, the Crescent City Connection, it's back closed. It had opened earlier today, but after a number of accidents on roads leading to the bridge, it was shut down again around 8 o'clock.
And right across from that bridge is Whitney Miller. She's joining us live now from Gretna tonight with the latest from Jefferson Parish.
Y'all see that snow, that cold air coming out? It is cold out here, you all. Today, we saw firefighters checking out Highway 90. They said they were just looking to see what the snow situation was like. Then we also, yesterday, saw a crew from Gretna come to a hotel to respond to a hotel fire alarm. All of this is happening when the city has just stopped in its tracks because of a winter storm. Snowball fights were the leading sport Tuesday.
We had some neighborhood kids come around and had a little snowball fight, just cut up a little bit.
David Crockett firefighter Lester Foray says it's the first time he's ever seen a snow like this, especially on the job because, like him, the fire trucks are not quite used to slick roads.
It's rough. Our trucks are heavy, so they wanted to slide. We had to go really slow. It's definitely not safe for regular vehicles.
Even though the snow has stopped, the local fire department here in Gretna is still under high alert, and that's because of dangerous roadways. Wednesday, there was good news.
The Huey Long Bridge is now open for emergency personnel only.
Foray says it's been quite the task responding to calls in these conditions.
Getting in and out of the day.
So they spent the better part of Wednesday clearing the slab from this to this, making it easier to get out.
The freeze is not new. It happens every year. It's just the snow doesn't make it any better.
But there is still concerns. He wants residents to be mindful as we navigate the cold, like looking up before standing under snow and ice that could fall.
People on the road can cause issues because if somebody's in the road and they're stuck and we have to get to a call, that puts a hazard in our way.
Annie says heaters are the big fire hazard in this weather.
If they're not maintained, different things in them can short circuit. People putting little space heaters or different types of heaters around furniture, things like that, can catch it.
Throughout Gretna Wednesday, we ran into families walking.
They're clear enough, but tomorrow is going to be the problem.
And many drivers trying to navigate ice-filled roads. But we also saw crews, lots of them, working to get the West Bank back up and running.
This was a lot of snow that we're not used to having to deal with, and we're out there. We made a lot of headway today, but just with the temperatures dropping again, we're not out of this.
And while there is still some ways to go, Foray says he has the solution.
Yeah, we hired the son.
At least on a part-time basis.
No, we paid till like 6.
And I'm just hoping that he pays the son to come back out tomorrow again. Jefferson Parish did tell me that the sheriff's office did have to respond to a few accidents and rescue some folks who might have gotten stranded today. And they say that was a small group of people. They say overwhelmingly the majority of people have been heeding their advice and staying inside so that these crews can get this work done to get everybody back to normal, which is what we all would like. They're hoping that Mother Nature cooperates. For now, live in Gretna, Whitney Miller, WWL, Louisiana.
Oh, thanks so much, Whitney. Now that thick blanket of snow extends into St. Tammany Parish, and many roads are still closed today because of all the icy conditions out there.
It's yet another spot where officials are trying to spread the word that you're much safer at home than trying to drive anywhere else. Meg Ferris has more.
Well, temperatures have really gone down tonight, and that's causing ice to form where all that snow melted earlier today. But I'll tell you, when the sun came out and the main thoroughfares were mostly just wet, a lot of people wanted to venture out for a little while. And one of the places they went was to the only grocery store open, and that was Rouse's. And it was only open for a limited amount of hours. And look at these lines. It was packed. The lines went all the way from the front to the back of the store. Now, some people said they just needed to take a break and get out. They had a little cabin fever. They also wanted to see what the rest of Slidell looked like with snow all over it. Others said with their family at home, their pantry was getting low. What did you think about the snow?
It was pretty good.
What'd you do in it?
Oh, we just played with some snowballs and stuff.
Did you throw snowballs at your parents and hit them with it?
Yeah.
We needed to. We needed to get out and get some snacks. They done ate up all my snacks, ma'am. It was time. It was time.
And remember, you not only protect yourself from not going out and driving on the ice, but also walking on the ice. The emergency departments we've spoken to do expect there to be some broken bones and maybe some knocked heads when people get out on the ice and slip and fall. Reporting from Slidell, Meg Ferris, WWL Louisiana.
Many school closures have been extended through tomorrow, and we have the most up-to-date list on our website. There, you can also find the latest on curfews that are in place for a few parishes as a result of this winter storm.
Cancellation after cancellation after cancellation as winter weather grounds flights in New Orleans.
With temperatures once again falling, we're continuing to monitor road conditions all across southeast Louisiana.
One more hard freeze for the metro area, but several hard freezes north of the lake as temperatures will be getting above freezing for longer during the day Thursday.
Well, canceled. That's all you'll see if you log on to Fly MSY to check flight statuses as this winter weather strains travelers at Armstrong International.
Amelia Strahan's been in Kenner today. She's getting the very latest from the airport. Amelia, so when are people going to finally be able to leave?
Yeah, so if you look out here, you'll see there's nothing taxiing other than maybe some snow plows, and I think even they have turned in for the night. So airport officials say that all flights into and out of MSY were canceled today, but they're hoping to get things up and running as soon as possible.
This is not something that is typical for an airport in New Orleans or anywhere in the southern region of the United States.
There wasn't a bag boarding pass or Boeing in sight as snowplows took over the tarmac at Louis Armstrong Airport.
But we are fortunate that we were able to work with the city of New Orleans and proactively get some teams on the ground so that we can have this type of operation to get back up and running as quickly as possible.
With much of the country still thawing out, hundreds of flights into and out of New Orleans were canceled Wednesday. Communications Director Aaron Burns isn't sure when airlines will resume flights into the city, but says safety is more important than getting people in the sky.
Just making sure that, number one, employees can safely get here, passengers can safely get here. We're advising people to continue to follow the directives and advisories that they're getting from city leaders.
And the work didn't stop on the runways. From Kenner to the Causeway, crews worked to clean up what was left of Tuesday's snowstorm. But with slushy streets icing back over Wednesday night, parish officials are asking residents to stay safe and stay off the streets.
I've been communicating with our sheriff, and he has had to rescue people, and some people got stranded, maybe had to abandon vehicles, and there were some accidents today.
Yeah, and we want you guys to remember to stay off the streets. We've been driving around Kenner just to get here to the airport. We drove, of course, really slowly, took all the right precautions, and we saw some people not taking those precautions, driving really quickly, slamming on brakes. So like all the officials are saying, if you can stay home, stay home. It's definitely the safest thing to do. Reporting live from Kenner, Amelia Strahan, WWL Louisiana.
Amelia, thank you. And an odd problem for our area. Today, some people found piles of snow in their attic, while others are dealing with huge sheets of ice dangling from their roof lines.
Devin Bartolotta explains what's going on and how you can stop it from causing damage.
Jim Lieb gave the heads up to his neighbors on a Metairie Facebook page that could have saved people a lot of trouble.
I'm glad I checked. I thought I'd make the post just to be sure others, would be aware.
Maybe wise to check your attics tonight. Snow blew in through the gable vents, he wrote.
I started thinking about the wind that was blowing so hard all day, and I just figured I'd go check, really to make sure that I didn't have any frozen pipes. And when I got up there, I saw, there was some snow in there.
He scooped and vacuumed it up, but found he wasn't alone. Many were surprised to find piles of snow in their attics, too. One woman said it was already leaking through her insulation and into her kitchen.
We've had all this wind blowing, and it's blowing it sideways, it's blowing it upwards, and it's finding its way into a lot of these vents.
James Angelica, owner of Home Pros Roofing in Metairie, says snow in the attic should be cleaned up before it melts and damages your ceiling, but it doesn't mean there's a problem with your roof. Outside, though, he's seeing ice dams, which could make a mess.
The water travels down, and then it hits that ice, and that's what's called an ice dam. And so what happens is water will start to penetrate into the shingles. It'll start to seep into the shingles and then obviously hit your roof deck and potentially cause some damage.
The good news, they're pretty easy to get rid of.
What I'm suggesting to people, which I've already done to my own house, is to take a rake or a broom And if you can reach the edge of your house, try to pull off some of that snow.
Simple ways to stay dry as the big melt begins.
And there will definitely be a big melt tomorrow if it hasn't already started to clear today. Again, we had a brief opportunity with temperatures above freezing, but more than that, it was bright sunshine. So there was definitely, I saw our neighbors, big sheets of snow and ice coming off of a roof, and that was definitely common. We'll see a lot more of that during the day tomorrow with a longer duration above freezing and plenty of sunshine. Now, our temperatures are already in the low 20s, so we quickly dropped. As soon as that sun went down, we hovered from 33, 32 degrees and then just plummeted in a few hours. Now, we do have a little high cloudiness moving in, but I don't believe that's really going to hinder the temperature from dropping much as we go through the night. Normally, clouds like that, or at least lower clouds like cumulus clouds, thicker, dense clouds, would act as a blanket. These high, thin cirrus clouds are probably not going to do much for our temperatures, and so the hard freeze on both sides of the lake. Now, thankfully, for the metro area, that will be it. We will have another hard freeze on the North Shore and areas west, so river parishes down the bayou, but the metro area will avoid the hard freeze tomorrow night and going into Saturday, so Friday night and Saturday morning. So one more hard freeze from the metro area, but a few more north of the lake. Right now, everyone at the criteria for a hard freeze, so hopefully you've already protected the pipes and continue that little thin stream of water during the night tonight. And with light, I mean almost non-existent winds, that has allowed those temperatures to just plummet. Now, the good news tomorrow, we're going to be above freezing earlier than we were today. Really, it wasn't until the afternoon hours, and today we only got, at least at Kenner, 33 degrees. Tomorrow, though, we'll be above freezing, before 10 a.m., and we'll be well above freezing before those temperatures start to dip later on into the night. So the good news is we will have a longer duration of plenty of sunshine, but also of those temperatures into the 40s and staying out of the low 30s before they start dropping again. And also consider our temperatures on the South Shore tomorrow night aren't going to be getting nearly as cold. So really one more night and morning of a concern with the ice on the roads. I think the vast majority will be gone by tomorrow afternoon and into the early evening hours. There may still be some patchy areas. You probably noticed today, if you were out, that if there was an area under bright sunshine, you started to see some slush or maybe even the roads clearing. Areas that were still under shade, though, still solid blocks of ice. So shaded areas and areas on the ground, on the grass, may be a little bit longer to completely clear. High clouds moving in. They'll be with us into the early morning hours tomorrow, and then plenty of sunshine. So that should remove the vast majority of the snow and ice on the roads. Model picking up on a little patchy fog developing going into early Friday morning, so may have that to contend with in the morning, but then plenty of sunshine and a lot of sunshine going forward and a gradual warming trend. Highs into the lower 40s tomorrow, mid 40s on Friday, then low 50s on Saturday, and by Sunday, we're back into the 60s.
We're looking live from I-10 and Highway 51, where they have closed the interstate there. You can still see snow on the road.
Lily Cummings has been there since Monday night, monitoring conditions across St. John Parish. So, Lily, how do the roads look tonight?
Well, Katie and Charisse, the roads are looking pretty clear, but we're actually in the parking lot where things are getting a little treacherous and a little slick. Since the sun went down, things are starting to refreeze. Just look at this. It looks like it's maybe some slushy snow, but if you pick it up, these are hard as rocks. They are rock solid. I mean, literally, it could be quartz if I wasn't, if I was a geologist. But the major arteries, as you all mentioned, into Laplace to and from I-55, the spillway, those are obviously closed. We're hoping that tomorrow we get a better idea of when those might reopen. Today, we saw DOTD out here in Laplace clearing Airline Highway. Take a look at this video. DOTD crews were not only clearing Airline, but Highway 51 and Belle Terre. Now, the sun did do a number on the roads today, and it was mainly slush, but as those temperatures drop, you'll want to watch out for ice patches. Sheriff Mike Trigg said there's no curfew tonight, but he did warn drivers not to travel. In the last 48 hours, he says his deputies helped 10 drivers that were stranded. Meanwhile, the majority of Laplace businesses were closed today, except a few gas stations and restaurants, and we spoke to some of those businesses that were prepping to open up tomorrow.
Well, we're making sure we didn't get any snow damage as far as roof, leakage, pipes, anything burst, anything that we could prevent to get rid of, anything like discard any food, anything like that, just to make sure that we're good. as far as damage.
Yeah, how do things look in there?
So far, so good. I had to throw some stuff away, clean up a few things, some housekeeping things, but nothing that I see to keep me from like opening a restaurant.
Yeah, so some things you will see reopen tomorrow, but some people maybe not yet. Government buildings, sheriff's office, and public schools, those will still be closed tomorrow. I'm told that trash schedules are supposed to pick up where they left off tomorrow. So if you have a trash day on Thursday, you'll expect them to be out there tomorrow. So things are slowly getting back to normal here in Laplace. Reporting live, Lily Cummings, WWL Louisiana.
All right, that is good news. Thanks, Lily. Closer to the coast, the sun melted a good bit of the snow, and that means there's a lot of water on some roads that could freeze tonight.
And that's along with concerns about pipes and water and energy usage. Rachel Hanley is in Houma with the latest from our area's southernmost parishes.
Yeah, if you live in Terrebonne or Lafourche Parish, there are three main things that we want you to keep in mind as we go into this next deep freeze tonight. The first is road conditions. We've been saying it over the last few days, and we want to reiterate the roads could get very, very dangerous tonight. This is MLK Boulevard in Houma, and we want to give you something of a preview of what the roads could look like once the temperature dips even further as we get later tonight. Now, this is a pretty deep puddle on the side of the road, and you can see, I'll even drop the mic so you can hear it. Just how much ice is already setting up on top of that. The second major concern will be pipes. Right now, all of Lafourche Parish is under a boil water advisory, and about 8,000 people in Terrebonne Parish are under a boil water advisory. In the case of Terrebonne Parish's advisory, the parish explicitly said that it was because a main line had burst during last night's freeze. It will also be a concern at the home level, as a lot of people unfortunately found out last night. And one man we met in the parking lot of Lowe's says that he even dripped his pipes last night and still woke up to find multiple breaks.
I still had it dripping, but I mean, I went in the backyard and I seen water shooting all over, and I'm like, this ain't good. So I didn't realize what it was, you know.
The third thing to keep in mind is that the cold is straining the parish's resources to some extent. In Terrebonne Parish, you're being asked to conserve gas because the parish says its natural gas system is at maximum pressure right now. In Lafourche Parish, besides the boil water advisory, you're also being asked to conserve water, and that's in place through at least tomorrow. In Houma, Rachel Handley, WWL Louisiana.
Stay with us. We'll have one last check of your forecast as we monitor conditions around southeast Louisiana. And that's going to do it for us tonight. Thanks so much for watching.
Have a great night. We'll see you right back here tomorrow, and we'll leave you with some family fun.
Continue with us and watch free now on the WWL Plus app everywhere you stream.